hello, welcome and welcome back. My name is Nina. To those of you who don't know me, well, this is not my usual settings, okay? And this is not a background thing you can do with your phone or something. I can actually touch the things, okay? Guys, before we jump to today's piece, I need to tell you a few things. Thing number one, probably you've already noticed the change of name, okay? So because I do for pleasure, it's not my main source of income, I thought, well, unfortunately I do feel more comfortable speaking English than Spanish, so I decided to to change the language, and I don't think I will be posting anything else in Spanish. Maybe at some point, yes, but in generally this is not my idea anymore. And well, hence, we have bye English y manualidades. Welcome, redesigned by Nina. Okay, so that's the first thing. Second thing is that I would like to appreciate the fact that you subscribe to my channel and you follow me and you cheer me up and you give me ideas and everything, and I promise I'll do my best to be as consistent as possible, which means I will try and post every second Sunday. I know it would be nicer if I could do every Sunday, but as I said, I'm a single mom, this is my hobby, and there are so many things going on that might stop me from posting every Sunday. So safe to say, every second Sunday. If I can do an extra video and post for you every Sunday, that's brilliant, I'll do that, okay? But to be on the safer side, every second Sunday, all right? If you would like to know what's going on with me, you can always have a look at my social media. I started posting like little glimpse into what I'm doing, little pieces, little projects, things I've got my fingers in, okay? So you are most welcome to check out my social media, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and just, if you're interested, well, here it is. Another idea I've got. Okay, so I want to start the Copycat Chronicles. Recent things that happened in my life made me think about many things. Okay, and one of the things is that I'm kind of all the time doing same type and style of the pieces. So this time I decided, okay, why not to come out of my comfort zone and try somebody else's style, okay? So today is the episode 1 of Copycat Chronicles, okay? I'm not saying I'm gonna be posting now only the Copycat Chronicles. No. I've got some commissions coming up as well, so every now and then you will see an episode from the Copycat Chronicles. And well, today is the episode number 1. It's the very first episode. Okay, I'm super excited. And today I'm copying Chris from Bella Renovare. Okay, if you don't know who Chris is, please check her channel. Okay, in the description below you will have a link to her channel and to the piece I'm trying to copy. Okay, so if you want to see if I succeeded, how does my piece look like, well, without further ado, let's jump into it. Bella Renovare by Chris. Here is my first inspiration for the episode 1 of the Copycat Chronicles. If you don't know Chris, please have a look at description of my video. You've got link to her channel, link to the piece. Please have a look. She is absolutely amazing. I love colors and I think she makes the most amazing color blends ever. Okay, so please check her out, and let's move to the piece. Obviously, here we got also the inspiration. I am going to try and copy. So here you've got my piece. Okay, first of all, it's not as big as Chris's. I couldn't find anything that would suit the style, so I picked this one. Okay, so here we've got little burn marks or something, so that went through the veneer, some scratches. You've seen that the doors were okay. Here we got some more scratches and gouges, and the biggest problem, okay, is this missing trim bit. Okay, so as usual, I'm getting rid of the hardware, which I decided to keep because it's super pretty. I don't know if you like it, but for me, this is super pretty. And this hardware surprised me because it was on a screw that was screwed into the piece, but there was it wouldn't come on the other side. Okay, so this was the only part of the hardware. As for the piece itself, you can see that this is mainly particle board. You can see it very well here. Now all the lines you've got in front of you, these are particle board. Here, I don't know if you can see it very well. You've got a very, very, very thin layer of veneer on the top. I don't know if you can see the one. I'll try and show it to you here. Here you can see that little tiny part, that's the veneer that's on the top part. Okay, and apart from particle board, here you can see that the edge is wood. The edge trim is wood, and here we've got main part. This is particle board. To fix the main part of a problem here, which is the trim, I'm using what you can find as quickwood in America. Okay, so it's epoxy. It's like Play-Doh. Okay, and it hardens as you use it. Okay, and you can see it when it's drying. Okay, this is what I've done. Okay, I was forming the edge. Pretty much it's more or less like the original. Okay, and here we can see what it should look like. So yeah, after it hardens and dries, I'll sand it and you wouldn't be able to tell. Then obviously it was sanding. I'm sorry to jumping through all the repairs and everything, but I want to go to the more exciting part. Okay, the more copycat part. So I sanded the red the lacquer, the varnish, the stain. You can see it's a very light wood, and it seems that the veneer here, as you can see it very well here, was laid down in stripes. So well, that meant that, well, I can't leave it bare as I was expecting to. So this is one of the things that I couldn't copy. Okay, so in Chris's piece, the top was bare wood. Okay, but here I had to, as you can see, I had to fill in gaps because there were gaps between each stripe of the veneer. So I had to fill that up, and well, I had to change the idea. And here I had to do some other repair. I had to glue the veneer that was spilling off. And obviously all that filler
was sanded smooth to make sure that the top of the nightstand would be nice and smooth. I'm sorry I didn't record that part, but I put a coat of primer, but you can still see I've got plenty of bleed through, okay, which was kind of obvious after seeing the color of the piece. Um, After having so much bleed through with the primer, what I did was to apply a very thin coat of sprayed varnish in matte finish. Okay, so wherever I had those bleed throughs, which is pretty much all over the place, I did that. Varnish, acrylic varnish, spray in matte. Now, what can you see me doing here is because I didn't have the lime color as Chris used, I'm mixing yellow that I had at hand and this kind of like bluish turquoise turquoise color. Okay, that will give me a very nice lime color to start with, just as it was in the Chris's piece. So quick mixing of all of it, and I'm applying the first coat. Okay, now I decided that on the top, because I was expecting people to put things on the top, I decided not to put, just like in a Chris's case, not to put the texture on it. So here what I'm doing is just simply painting the lime color on it, but not using texture. As I said, I was imagining that, okay, if I use texture on top of it, um, if then I have to use this kind of um, this kind of piece of furniture, it's gonna be hard to put anything on top. Like imagine, I don't know, putting a glass of wine there. Okay, it could be easily spilled. So I decided to just paint with this color on top and leave it to dry, and add the texture later under the paint. Okay, so here is the texture. I'm using what I had at hand, which is baking soda. Okay, now I'm gonna tell you one thing. Don't get too excited about putting a lot of it inside, okay? It doesn't have to be really thick. Why not? Because then you have to sand it all down, and it's not that much fun, especially if it got somewhere where it shouldn't, okay? So don't be too generous, okay? I would recommend is try a little bit, start putting on a piece. If you see that, well, there's not enough texture, add some more and add some more on the piece. Okay, but as I said, don't get too excited because this is gonna be a bit difficult. And then yeah, we go off we go on the piece. Okay, another tip. Okay, Chris was doing a cupboard. Okay, so there were doors here. I am doing drawers. So for those of you who has never done this like me before, a good uh, tip is be careful when you put the textured um, paint um, in the uh, drawer slides, drawer sides, and things like that. So everything that can block and stop the drawer from sliding, well, it's not a good place to put it. Okay, so try to make sure that your your paint is not gonna go in between the drawer and the piece, okay, the main body of the piece, because it's gonna block it, it's gonna dry, it's gonna get hard, and it will give you hard time taking out and making sure that the drawers slide very well. Okay, that's my tip that I can give you from there. Because I got super excited and I wasn't actually thinking, being overexcited, and well, I made this mistake. Later on, I'm not sure if I've got the footage of it or not, but yeah, I had huge problems in taking the drawers out. Okay, and here you can see me, kind of struggling with sticking my paste in the details. Well, don't do that. If you got those little details like me, use their just paint. Okay, don't put the salt, the texture there. Put the texture only on flat surfaces. Okay, this is another tip I could give you. Here I'm going to show you a few close-ups. Okay, so you can see how it looks when it's dry. So it's like, if you can see, it's like it's stuck very well. I can assure you it's as hard as a rock here. So now we are going to the color part. You can see that I'm mixing here the paints, and I'll be using most of the time Monto paints. These are Spanish paints. If I'm not mistaken, they are made in Valencia. Okay, and I'll be here using very many colors. And I would like to give a big shout out to all the guys from Pinturas de los Cubos, who were super patient with me, helping with choosing the proper color and everything. So thank you very much. Well, this is a surprising thing. I didn't expect my little baby girl to want to paint with me, but she was really excited about it. So Chris, if you're watching it, I've seen in one of the videos that your daughter wasn't very keen on painting. Well, if you're looking for an apprentice, well, I might have one for you. Yeah, but to be honest, I had loads of fun painting this part of the bedside table with my baby girl. Like, it was really really nice, and I really enjoyed it. I need to tell you that sharing my hobby with my family, it's really nice. Even if even if they're just the cats coming in and checking up on me, but yeah. All right, so now this is me blending in the colors. And I need to tell you that in the end, I think I'm using a color more than actually Chris was doing. But it was just, I got so excited, so carried away that I couldn't help it. Okay. Anyway, just to give you a tiny little tip of a person who was doing this for the first time, I think that putting all the colors first, working its sections. Okay, I think my advantage here was that I had a very small piece, so I could work on one side at the same time. Was the very advantage. As Chris says, you need to keep your piece wet, and I kept my clean brush. I was keep cleaning it every 5 seconds on the wet rag. You can't see here, okay, but that helped me with the blending. A tiny little glimpse on the side, and here we move to the top. Okay, now the top looks awful right now, but as you can see, I can see through the paint. Okay, I can see the lime part. Okay, so what I had to do here is to use several layers. Okay, I had to change it in the end anyways, but you will see. Okay, you will see. You've got the glimpse of what I was doing. You can see that, I was putting first layer. I wasn't really blending it because that was not the idea. Okay, so here I'm trying to put the second layer and I'm trying to blend it in a little bit better. And as you can see with the passes of my brush, it starts to look a tiny little bit better, but it's still far from the perfection. Well, as you can expect, that didn't work out too well for me, so I had to change it. But let's not get ahead of ourselves, alright? Okay, so here you can have a look at the piece when it was dry after all that stuff I did to it. This is how it looked when it was dry. So yeah, the front sides look nice, but not the top. So as you can see, I sanded it down so to have a very smooth finish. Okay, I water it a little bit to have a nice pass, and painting it navy blue, and you'll see what I came up with for the top. I needed 3 coats in the end just to cover, the previous paint job and to make sure that, the top looks really nice and solid navy blue. Ladies and gentlemen, our next step is distressing. Another recommendation when doing this, again, don't go too excited. Take 240 grit. This is what I took. And start doing it lightly, because I noticed that when I was pushing it with the block, the paint was coming off very easily. So in the end, you can see me taking the sandpaper off and going very gently over the parts. And when I had the darker edges, I wasn't pressing the sandpaper almost at all, just to have a tiny little bit there. And the part when my paint was pretty light, so the blue in the middle, I was pressing it a lot harder to get more of that lime color out. Okay, so very quick dusting. Cleaning the whole piece of all the dust, and here, as you've seen, I'm putting the clear wax on just to make sure that after using other types of waxes, well, if I go overboard, which is, as you've seen me being getting carried away, well, that's a good precaution. So after clear wax, I'm putting dark wax to accentuate different parts of this piece. And I'm using a clean cloth with a little bit of clear wax to get rid of all the excess of the dark wax, of pretty much anything I'm not happy about with the dark wax. You can easily clean it off with rag with a little bit of the clean wax. Okay, so here I'm going to show you just a corner of my piece because the piece is almost ready. I'm installing the original hardware. As I said before, I absolutely love it, so it definitely was going to stay. And now I'm adding some gold gilding wax to the hardware and all to the all raised elements, and I take off the excess. As you can see, I got a cloth with some clear wax ready just in case I go overboard and use too much. Do you remember the tabletop I decided to make navy blue? Well, it's not gonna be navy blue. I'm using an old toothbrush, a little bit of lime color I've got left, and I'm sprinkling this on the top so the top is not so plain comparing to the rest of the piece. Okay, yep, you can have drips, you can have problems, but the thing is not to start panicking. You just take a wet rag, you rub it off, and you continue with your work. Okay, so I wasn't too happy about the hardware, so I decided that, okay, first of all, I am going to go over with dark wax, and then I am going to use a bit of the gold gilding wax I was using. And this is when I got a lot more happy with the hardware than the previous, just, super gold ones. And ladies and gentlemen, this is the end of our journey. Here we have the before and the after. I absolutely love it, but guys, I want to know your opinion. Do you think this is a nice one? Do you like the piece? Do you think I did a good job? Please leave me a comment here. And if you haven't done it so far, please subscribe and like. That helps my channel really a lot. And if you're feeling super generous, there is also my Amazon wish list and buy me coffee in the description below. I really hope you had a good time. And till the next one, thank you for watching.